Cadillac's hit music station, 107.9 CDY. It is Saturday morning at 8:30, and you know what that means. It's time for Cadillac Unscripted, sponsored by Independent Bank. It's a half hour of local chat, and I can't think of anything more local. You know, Katy, last year we got to interview some of the class of 2020, but we had to do it on the phone.
Right.
This year, it's a little bit different.
I know it. We've got some fine leaders in front of us, face-to-face today.
We have three of the members of are you guys officially or were you officially class officers?
Correct, yes.
Okay, all
Okay,
right.
so let's have you introduce. We'll start with Tucker. Name and title.
Sawyer?
Yep.
Sorry.
We have, go ahead.
All right, I'm Sawyer. I was the class treasurer for this year. I played varsity soccer. I was a captain for that team, and I was also the president of the youth advisory committee. Very community oriented, and that's all for me.
So you've worked with Doreen Lance before?
Yes, a lot.
Awesome.
Great.
Alana?
So my name's Alana Hoffert, and I'm the class secretary. I played varsity softball for 3 years, and then I was a part of the mayor's youth council.
Excellent.
And Peace?
My name is Peace. I was class president. I ran varsity track for 3 years. Also part of the single track sisters fat bike team, so we just fat bike year round. I was NHS secretary. Yeah.
These are busy kids.
Yes, indeed. And we've got some questions for them in what was really a very strange last 2 years to be a high school student.
It sure was.
Wouldn't you all agree?
Yes, definitely.
All right, Katy, what do you got?
Well, I want to know what your favorite memory was, each of you, in the last 12 months as seniors.
My favorite memory was my soccer team. We went to district finals, and we had a PK shootout in one of the games leading up to that, and we barely won by 1 goal in the PK shootout, so that was probably my most memorable moment of my senior year.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so for those of us that don't know, what's a PK shootout?
Each team has 5 attempts to make a penalty kick, which is 10 yards in front of the goalie, and it's just you and the goalie one-on-one.
Oh, my gosh.
So they don't line up
pressure.
anybody else in front of the net. It's just one-on-one.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a lot of pressure.
So PK, Rich, is penalty kick.
Penalty kick.
Got it. Okay.
So I guess my most memorable moment would be one of our softball games. I hit a walk-off. So we were tied in the bottom of the last inning, and we had a runner on second, and I was up to bat, and we had 2 outs, and I got a base hit, and then the runner scored, and the game was over. So that was very exciting.
Oh, I'm getting the chills. And she's smiling from ear to ear, Rich. How about you, Peace?
I guess mine would be a couple of weeks ago at track regionals. Like, top 2 get to go to states, and like during our 100-meter hurdle race, like during the last 3 hurdles, I was like in 4th place, but like I wanted it so bad, and like I was able to get 2nd place, but like we all crossed the line. It looked like we crossed the line at the same time, but like we were milliseconds apart.
It was a photo finish.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Did you notice, Katy, that all of these remembrances involved sports and nothing in the classroom?
Well, and I wanted to ask you guys, do you think that because there was uncertainty with sports seasons, are you going to be able to play? Are you going to be able to run? Are you going to be able to compete? Do you think that these sweet moments were even sweeter because of that?
Yeah, I mean, we all doubted even being able to play. So just being out there was in itself, it was its own kind of relief. So being able to get those specific moments where we actually got to succeed, it was very encouraging.
Wow. Is it your personal feelings about it, or was it that you wanted to be with your teammates?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to be with my teammates. I mean, we missed it last year, missed my junior year. So my senior year, I didn't realize that my sophomore year would be my second to last year, you know.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. So, yeah, it was definitely about being a team and being with my teammates.
Mm-hmm. And it made this season all the more rewarding because of it, because you were able to actually play.
Yes. Yeah.
And how much success they had. So, Rich, when we had Fred Bryan on, our athletic director, and I don't know if you guys know this story, but our high school, there weren't COVID cases because our coaches and our leaders wore masks and players wore masks and when they needed to. And so just hats off to our administration, Rich, that these kids, because if people would have started getting sick, then seasons would have been canceled, right? So everyone took it very seriously and everybody stayed healthy. And that's just really, really wonderful, I guess.
It's a testament to testing, to following protocols, because no one wanted to have seasons canceled.
No
one wanted to have any more loss
right.
of a school year like we had in 2019, 2020.
Right, and you guys maybe don't realize the community. There was so much community support for seniors because we all were seniors once, and we know all the special things that happen, and nobody wanted to see more things taken away from you guys. We feel like you should have the world right now because there were some things that you just didn't get to see, and that's too bad. What's next? Where are you going?
Oh, I'm attending Princeton University, and I'm going to major in chemistry, and I'm going to get a minor in Spanish.
You are going
my
to be an
goodness.
Ivy Leaguer?
I am an Ivy Leaguer.
Wowee, that's exciting. We're going to have you back. Wonderful. So what does your career look like?
So I'm going to be on the pre-med track, and then I want to go to med school, and then either I want to be a professor or I want to practice medicine. So, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm off to East Lansing at Michigan State University. I plan on dual majoring in electrical engineering and business, eventually leading into a career in clean energy one day.
Oh, these guys know what they're doing, Rich.
Absolutely.
How about
you know
peace?
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, we often, we're recording this program in the classroom at the Career Tech Center right now, and I often tell students it's okay if you're 17 years old and you don't know what you want to do yet, because I know every one of you have had moms and dads and grandparents and aunts and uncles and ask you the same question that Katy just asked you. Some aren't ready to answer that question yet, but this is awesome.
Where are you headed?
I'm going to University of Michigan. Likely going to major in biochemistry and follow the pre-med track. I want to go into pediatrics.
I think we have three overachievers sitting with us here.
We have big dreams, and that's fantastic. I love it.
I wouldn't bet against these guys.
No, not at all.
No. So what are you going to do all summer?
A lot of work.
Yes.
A lot
Same.
of working.
You're gonna work and you're gonna make some money and you're gonna
Yes.
bank some money.
Do you all have jobs?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Where do you work?
I work at Gordon Food Service.
Okay.
Yeah.
I work at Walmart as part of the personal shoppers for online grocery and pickup.
Oh, I love it. How about you, Peace?
No, I don't work.
Okay. All right. So how important was your sports experience as it ties into everybody had high test scores, everybody had good grades, or you wouldn't be going to these colleges? Can you speak to that partnership?
For me, I kind of felt like sports were kind of in the way sometimes.
Okay.
They took a lot of time, and I loved them. I would do anything to continue playing, but and for me, my academics do outweigh my sports. So, yeah. I don't
Clearly, if you're going to an Ivy League school.
Right. That's
Yeah.
right. How about Sawyer?
I think definitely my teammates and the camaraderie that we had this season, it definitely played a big part in making memories and just having something to reflect upon, and all the times on the buses, team camps, just the times with the guys. It was a great experience, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. That was definitely something that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
That's great. How about you, Peace?
For me, I thought being involved in some sport really helped. Sometimes academics can get pretty overwhelming, but for me, I thought sports was it took a lot of time, but it was kind of like a break.
A little bit of an outlet for you.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe take your mental focus off of something
Yeah.
else and give you just a minute to. Sure, understandable. Can you tell us about what you had to do as student body leaders to kind of keep everybody's spirits up during a difficult time with COVID?
Yeah, so I think we really had to remind people what we're doing all of these things for, why are we wearing masks? Why are we trying to get vaccinated and stuff like that? And it's so we can return to normal, right?
Okay.
So a lot of people are kind of really against it, and they're over it, and they're totally done with the masks and everything. But I think we're all reminding ourselves as peers and just, hey, we want to get through this senior year. We want to make it as normal as possible. Let's everyone stick to the rules and let's get through this.
Wow.
So, yeah.
She sounds like she's 50 years old, Rich. not a senior in high school.
Absolutely.
That is really, really profound. It is. Dr. Whalen, who's literally running the initiative to vaccinate, that's what he told us too. Everybody needs to behave and everybody needs to stay vigilant.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what, you're right, Alana. It is hard to do when you're 14, 15 months into it. It gets exhausting.
Well,
But
right.
we've turned the corner a few months ago and feeling much better about where we're at right now.
Yeah. And I think it's hard for some people, I mean, especially younger kids in high school, to see like how big this is. I mean, for seniors, I mean, it's our last year. Like, we want to be able to be in the classroom. So if these freshmen if they don't understand the gravity that they need to follow rules, then we don't get our experience. So,
Wow. Yep.
So, yeah, if we're all holding each other accountable, like, we can all kind of work together and get through it. Yeah.
And it's interesting because, we're all in this together kind of became a cliche. And people got tired of it, but it's true.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, there's nobody, like Dr. Whalen told us, there's 3 categories of people who've had it, people who are going to get it, and people who are going to get vaccinated. I mean, it's very black and white. It doesn't discriminate this. Okay, we're going to come right back with 3 graduates of the class of 2021 from Cadillac High School.
It is Cadillac Unscripted, sponsored by Independent Bank. Back in a moment on 107.9 CDY. Back with segment 2 of Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY, talking with the members of the class of 2021. And I know Katy's got a question teed up, but one thing I want you guys to be thinking about as we move on here is words of advice for the class of 2022. Okay?
Okay.
So think on that.
Okay.
And then I know Katy's got something to ask here.
I just wanted to ask, is there a teacher that stands out or multiple teachers that sort of influenced you and kept your spirits high and challenged you? Because you're going to some pretty prestigious colleges. And so, I know family plays into this and your own personal drive. But can you tell us about maybe some teachers that supported you and helped you get where you're going?
Yeah, most definitely. A lot of our AP teachers really did a great deal in trying to adapt and cover the same amount of information in a shortened period of time because we went to that alternative schedule. A lot of teachers had to resort to new methods to trying to get in all this massive information. And Mr. Netzley was one person who I really remember as we did Zooms on our off days when we were at home, and he would put out a slew of notes, and there was this one time when he didn't put out notes, and he mocked some of the members of our class for wanting the notes. Alana here was one of those members.
Yeah, he goes, when, no notes. And we still say that to this day with me and my friends.
So it's become a joke.
Yeah.
I
yep.
love it. I love it. So you saw lots of dedication to students.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, even Miss Nair was amazing and making sure, I mean, she had to drop some parts of our curriculum, but she prepared us well enough for the AP exam where she's been doing this for so long that she knew what we needed to know. And so she did amazing in preparing us for that exam, I think.
Janet Nair went to the University of Michigan. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. All day, right?
Yeah.
Big Blue. How about for you? Is there a teacher that stands out or a coach that stands out?
Okay. For me, a teacher that stood out was Mrs. Darrow. Like, I had her for oral communication, and like before I took that class, I was like dreading it. Like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to give speeches in front of people. But she made the I think that was like one of the most valuable classes I've taken because like it really helped me get over like kind of the fear of public speaking and like getting comfortable like talking to people. So
Well, and that helped with your role as president of the student
Yeah.
body. Yes.
yeah.
And that pays dividends for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, hats off to those teachers. Okay, your question next, Rich.
All right, so class of 2022. This is the class that had their sophomore year and their junior year interrupted by COVID-19. Good Lord willing, knock on wood, maybe that isn't such an effect in this upcoming school year. Do you have any advice for the incoming class of seniors?
Yeah, I think going through all this change and having things run differently for so long, getting back in the swing of things and becoming involved again is going to be one of the biggest things that they can do. And this goes for incoming freshmen too. getting involved in high school and really networking and getting good communications with people that are involved in the community outside of just the school is one of the most important things you can do as a student, and it really develops yourself and your sense of character more than any other experience in high school.
How much did the Youth Advisory Committee experience help you?
That I attribute that and Doreen to a large part of my success. I wrote about her in a lot of my essays, and she wrote a letter of recommendation for me. And I love Doreen a bit. She's really a heart made of gold, great person, and she helped me network so much and meet so many great people and do a lot of amazing things in this community.
When you're younger, your world and your sphere of influence tends to be a little bit smaller, and it grows as you get older. But an experience like that brings that to the forefront at a much earlier age, I think.
Of course. Definitely an exponential growth type of thing. Once you start to get knowing people, it's a lot easier to meet more people.
That's right.
Yeah, and I totally back Sawyer when he says to be involved in high school and to network and all these things. But I also want to throw in that high school is not everything. I mean, you don't have to be involved in every little thing to get into the college you want to go to. It's not the end of the world, and just being denied from one little club or something like that is not the end of the world. And I think if we all take time for ourselves and also stick to what's important to you, if you do things that you're passionate about rather than little thing that you can do, you're going to be more successful.
Taking time for yourself, though, when you're involved in sports and you've got that senior level of workload, that is really a delicate balancing act, isn't it?
Definitely. I think it's been difficult for everybody this year, too, because we've had, every other day we've gone to school. So every other day we've almost had you get to yourself day. But we also have to know that we have work to do on those days. So it's definitely been difficult this year, where some people are taking almost too much time for themselves or not being able to balance that, basically.
Yeah, staying motivated inside and outside of the classroom was one of the most challenging things about this past school year. On those, we call them off days, but they really aren't off days. You have homework to do those days, and there's things that you need to be doing to further your education, even though you're not in the classroom. And the students that make the decision to continue to do that work really separate themselves from the pack, I believe.
You know, Sawyer, when you were saying that, it occurred to me that you will be further ahead because you've had to teach yourself discipline, which when you go to college, you don't have someone monitoring you, right? You have no parents. And so it feels to me like you already have that discipline that most kids, they have to get through their freshman year failures and all those types of things. You're ahead of the curve now because you've had to be disciplined ahead in high school with your schooling. So, Peace, we want to talk about what would you recommend to the next class of students? What advice would you give them?
Well, I guess having people to support you, like friends, family, is really important. Like during the pandemic, definitely connections with some people kind of broke apart, as in you weren't hanging out with them as much, talking to them as much. So I would say definitely keep your connections strong, because those people can be there to help you when you're stressed, overwhelmed. So having people around you to support you, I think that's a big part of school.
Well
and it's
said.
okay. And it's okay to reach out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're feeling the need for support, I know there's a lot of young folks who are afraid to be a burden. Don't have that feeling, right?
Right.
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of resources in the high school, especially now that mental health has become more of a priority. We're all realizing that normal people struggle with mental health too now. So we have a lot of resources now, and reach out 100%.
Great counseling staff.
Yeah.
Okay, so the stigma is lessened.
Yes, I'd agree. Yeah, I think so.
Does the senior class communicate all together? How do you all talk to each other?
I think that unity definitely has been a struggle. As I talked about this in my graduation speech, we hadn't seen each other face-to-face as a whole class for almost a year and a half. And staying united as a class is really kind of difficult, and I feel like it almost dissolved into clubs and groups, so you still have those networks there, but they're just a little bit different for everyone else, or for everyone.
I see.
So your sport, you'd obviously be close with the people in your sport, and clubs, you'd be close with the people in the clubs, and everybody had these different networks, but I think unity was definitely a struggle of this year.
Well, because you're used to, okay, so maybe you weren't in a club or in a sport with somebody, but you see them in the hallway or the classroom, and so friendships are built and relationships are built that way too.
Yeah.
The lunchroom. Yeah, yeah. What would you say about that piece? Was it hard to be separated?
So I think face-to-face connection is a huge part of keeping relationships going, and even like before the pandemic, like we're like Sawyer said, we were kind of broken off into groups and like cliques or whatever you want to call it, but like we're still like a class, and we still interact with each other in like events or classrooms and such, but I guess just
You went through it together.
yeah, we went through all this together, and like I think like this pandemic, even though like we didn't get as much time to spend with each other, like we kind of like were brought, I don't know, closer, like because we're all experiencing these things, but
Right. What was your favorite part about your graduation ceremony?
I probably stand alone, but I really liked giving my speech. That was a lot of fun.
That's good.
Yeah, Sawyer probably doesn't agree, but
Yeah, no, mine was throwing caps.
Was that your
Yeah,
favorite?
that was mine.
What was yours, Peace?
oh yeah.
What was your favorite part of this graduation ceremony?
I think the walk, I don't know, I just liked how it felt.
You know, you're fortunate in that CAPS does a beautiful graduation ceremony. I mean, other schools, they kind of just, you know, it's not nearly as meaningful. And so I've just always been impressed with the amount of work that goes into it. And then, of course, student leaders speaking and hearing from students and leaders. So just hats off to the administration and the folks that put that ceremony on, because it's a class act, Rich.
Well, and I also think, you know, the fact that the lake is right across the street, it's probably one of the most naturally beautiful places to have a ceremony to begin with.
How many students did you graduate with?
148.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, very small compared to the other classes.
So as you're driving out the driveway and you're headed to college, what do you see in the rear view? Are you going to be coming home frequently? Is that part of the plan, or is it I'm out of here?
So I'm about 12 hours away, so I'm going to be back as much as possible, but it
Okay.
will be difficult for me being so far away. But yeah, I definitely look back at high school with just kind of, I guess, like, I kind of reminisce about my freshman year self, who was just like so stressed out about school and so like devoted to all the grades and everything. And now, I mean, I'm Ivy bound. Like, I've gotten to a point where I've gotten so far, like, I've just got to be proud of what I can do and what I do. It's not my lifeline to be able to do every little thing around me, you know?
Well, you've proven yourself.
Yeah.
You put in the work.
Yeah, I've done it. So.
Oh, that
You know,
smile, Rich.
That actually brings to mind another question that I'd like all of you to address. Think about this. What would the senior / newly graduate of the class of 2021, say to the freshman version of you?
Oh, that's good.
You'll be okay.
I'm seeing some smiles here. Who wants to tackle
Did you
that
hear
one
what she
first?
said? You'll be okay. That's what she would say to herself.
You'll be okay.
With a little pat on the head.
With a little pat on the head. How about Peace? What would you tell yourself as a freshman?
Chill out.
I'd probably tell myself to work. Just put your head down and work and get
Okay.
through it. It'll be all right in the end, but you tell myself to realize that it's going to be a lot of work.
But it prepared you for life.
Yeah, it did. There's going to be, my freshman year self, with no knowledge about the pandemic, maybe a little hint of be prepared for change, be flexible.
Ooh, that is good.
That really is.
That's good life advice.
It's great life advice. I will tell you, sometimes life throws you a curveball and you have to pivot and you have to kind of change your mindset. And being able to do that and recognize that you have to do that at this age is huge.
Peace talked about support. Is there a cheerleader that each of you had that you would say, now that person was my go-to, and I got through X because of this person? Or was it many people?
I'll start off. Doreen.
I love
She
it.
was my go-to.
Okay.
She kept me organized more than I could ever imagine.
Mm-hmm.
She was just an amazing person for me and connected me to so many more people and so many organizations and just did a lot for me. So she was my go-to for everything like that.
Fabulous.
Yeah, I would say my AP chemistry teacher, Mr. Lloyd. He came to like I had my 17th birthday during the pandemic, and we had like a little birthday parade.
Oh, fun.
And he came to it, and when I saw him, I just started crying because it was so like you forget that people care, you know?
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, he's always been super supportive, and he's told us since, I had him my sophomore year for regular chemistry, and he's told me just, hey, you'll be okay. And I wasn't really listening because I didn't really want to hear it, but that's what I said I would tell myself. So yeah, he's been a cheerleader. He's been awesome.
I bet he is incredibly proud of you.
Yeah.
How about you, Peace?
I would say my school counselor, Mrs. Shorts. Like, I could go to her to ask about anything, really. Like, for me, I kind of had, like, I don't know, like a tough time, like, figuring out, like, all this college stuff and, like, testing and everything.
Applications.
Yeah, classes. And, like, she really helped me. Like, I can't thank her enough for, like, how valuable, like, she was to my high school experience.
Awesome. Sounds like a great group over there. What are you going to miss the most about Cadillac and about high school?
The teachers.
All right.
Definitely. We have a great staff of teachers. Kushmiter, Netzley, Nair, Schaefer, Lloyd, obviously.
Lloyd.
It's quite the amazing group of people over there, and they will be greatly missed.
Ah, wow.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. They have shaped our entire high school experience. They're the ones that taught us how to be flexible because they had to be so flexible, when this all started. So, yeah, they will forever be part of what we view as high school as being. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say teachers too. Like, you might go to some other schools and, like, the teachers don't care, like, really, like, or passionate, but, like, in Cadillac, teachers were, like, there with us, like, every step of the way. They, like, you could tell they cared, they were passionate, and they helped us through everything. So,
Wow. I bet these teachers are going to have a hard time watching these kids go. Well, we're going to wrap up, but we're so proud of you. The community is so proud of you, and I just know you're going to go on and do great things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks.
Our pleasure to be joined by Sawyer, Alana, and Peace, members of the CAPS class of 2021, official high school graduates as of last weekend. Join us next weekend for more local chat. It's sponsored by Independent Bank. It is Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY.